back and bigger than ever. It's the Unofficial 40 from Soonerscoop.com. Now, here's the entire Sooner Scoop crew. Carrie, Josh, Eddie, and
George.
All right, welcome back. It is another edition of the Unofficial 40. It's the OU Texas weekend version of the Unofficial 40 podcast. The gang is all here. Josh McCuistion is in Texas. Houston, Texas, that is, from his home studio in Studio B. Eddie Radosevich, George Stoya is here. He's finished off his Wednesday SEC teleconference call with Brent Venables, where he was once again hit up with questions about John Mateer. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. But, fellas, how are we doing today?
Good. We're here, ready to roll.
You're okay? I think I asked you this yesterday, but you've come to terms with the fact that the Cubs just aren't a very good offensive team, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the season's probably going to be over the next couple days. Thanks for bringing it up.
So, anyway, well, I apologize for bringing it up. I thought you were handling it well. You were still into the Yankees last night. I'm not saying
I'm not going to stop watching the playoffs.
No.
I'm going to watch every second of it.
All right. George Stoy is here. How's Dog Dad life treating you?
Great. It's been a great week. This week always feels much longer than any other week of the year covering this game. And it feels like there's always something going on. And this week it doesn't get any bigger than the quarterback situation for Oklahoma. They're practicing indoors. Eddie's hiding in the bushes.
Getting national recognition from Josh Pate.
Yeah, it's just it's been a crazy week, and it's only Wednesday.
I've been a day ahead the whole week. I thought it was Thursday when I came in here today, and I was like, oh no, we're doing the pod today. It's Wednesday. But yeah, I mean, Josh, I don't know how you rank big OU Texas controversies throughout the week, but this is about as severe, I think, as any that we've seen. And to be honest with you, I love it. Like, I think it's awesome that we have this going on, and not knowing if John Mateer is going to play and trying to find out information that gets you down a path to maybe he plays, maybe he's getting better, or maybe he's having some setbacks, or it's not going as well. And Brent Venables trying to dodge questions of it. I thought Ben Arbuckle did a good job of the press conference yesterday handling it. Not to say that Brent didn't, but it's pretty clear to me, Josh, and we've known Brent for a long time, like he's working to keep this a secret as much as he can.
Oh, 100%. Guys, I don't know about for you guys, being there, kind of boots on the ground, but for me, like, this is fun to not just have to talk about the same stuff, like throw everything out in a rivalry game and all the stupid stuff you talk about during a week like this. Like, there's something tangible for us to kind of like to chase and be part of and that kind of thing, rather than just like, well, we're just kind of writing stories and, the coach speak about, oh, we got nothing but respect for those guys and blah, blah, blah. Like, there's something out there that really is interesting to kind of follow through this week.
I mean, a lot was said about, OU Texas and the matchups and the receivers and the running backs and the offensive line, the defensive line. Like, all that was talked about, and we're certainly going to talk about that here. But it just adds a little bit of extra flavor and maybe, a lot more text that you get from your friends or people in the business than you normally would.
Everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know. And rightfully so. Like you said, it's a little bit of extra flavor. It's a lot, because it's like this could very well determine the game. Like, if John Mateer plays, you feel pretty good about Oklahoma. If he doesn't, you don't feel nearly as good.
I wouldn't say.
I've had to tell my friends that George is telling his friends the news, but not I'm not allowed to tell my friends. Yeah. So it's been a bitter thing.
I will say this. I still, and I don't know why that I felt this way from the beginning of the week, but yes, you're 100% right. I would never try and argue that OU is better off without John Mateer. I just think that they have so many things in their favor in terms of the defense versus their offense. I still like Oklahoma in this game. It's just, how close is it going to be? And I try and also put that little thought, that little thought in my head about, okay, if you were a Texas reporter and OU fans were listening to what you were saying, just like the Texas fans are, like, oh, fanboy. He's just the fanboy reporter guy. Like, he thinks OU's going to win. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, this game, anything can happen. I mean, I said it the other day, like, the years that I've gone in the most sure that OU was going to win, it was like the complete opposite of what happened that I thought was going to happen. Like the Case McCoy stuff. I mean, never saw that coming in a million years.
No, and you're right, Kerry. Like it's always the ones you're like, how the hell did that happen? And it is. I mean, it's again, and I start the show with like, oh, I hate the cliches, but it's true. In this game, weird shit just happens. Like it really. I mean, you think back to even the 2019 or the Caleb Williams game, like how crazy that was. No, you had no business winning that game. They really shouldn't have, as poorly as they came in playing, as poorly as they started. And they just found a way. It just kind of happened. So it goes both ways, but there's no doubt. Like, to me, I just keep thinking, like, the things that I think hurt some of those OU teams you're talking about, it's really hard for me to see that happening. Like, I just don't see Colt McCoy, Arch Manning, like, heating up and being like, okay, he's dicing up this defense. I don't see that. I don't think that's a thing that's going to happen. So at any point, I feel like OU's going to be in this game, even if they slow start offensively or whatever. They've just got to avoid the catastrophic mistakes. Like that's the thing I keep coming back to. Don't give Texas short fields. Don't give them a free minute of play late in the game. Don't give them the Napier if you can avoid it. Like I just don't do stupid things, and I just see a lot more positive outcomes possible for Oklahoma than Texas.
Is there anything, George, that you or Josh, Eddie, anybody, that you kind of read into that you're seeing out there about Mateer or about? I mean, I'm thinking of things like,
well, I think the fact that they're
out there.
Well, I think the fact that they're practicing inside and also dodged every question we asked about him yesterday, I think that means he's playing.
I just don't understand this front that they're putting on, and maybe they really don't know. I think that there is a part of all of this that they really don't know if he's going to be okay to play. But I don't understand the secrecy, I guess, in a way, because I mean, Sark and them, they already came out and said that they're preparing for both, and they're probably preparing a lot more for what an offense looks like with John Mateer. I just don't understand I guess I do understand it. I'm kind of answering my own question, but I understand it from like Oklahoma's standpoint, but it almost seems like they're going out of their way to do it. Like what? Why?
It seems too like stern. Like it could just be like we'll see. We don't know. Like we're still like.
I mean, if they did that, I would be like, oh, okay. Well, maybe there isn't anything to.
Like play it off a little bit. Like instead of like this is a concerted effort, we're not going to let anybody know anything. Because then it seems like you're hiding something. And what would you be hiding? It's certainly not that Michael Hawkins is going to be the starter.
Well, the other thing is, Brent said it today on the conference call, like they practice every Tuesday in the indoor. I don't know that that's true. I mean, I think maybe that's not true. And they're just saying it.
It's funny because every time I tweet that, because it's been brought up now several times, there's a student that is in my replies that sends me photos of him in class in Gaylord on Tuesdays with them practicing on the practice field.
Which just goes to answer the question of why are you practicing indoors because of people like that.
Well, just like a Monday, like they always practice outside on Monday because we see it. We're there every Monday to do interviews. They're outside waiting. And they bring them over after practice. Like, that's definitely not common. And look, if you want to practice indoors, that's fine. Like it doesn't matter, but like it sure does make you go, oh, well, that's a little suspicious.
It does feel, I was thinking about this last night when I was driving home. It does feel like in the world that I think that we feel like we always have lost from a college football standpoint, it does feel like a little old school to be like kind of the secrecy behind the iron curtain that is the Oklahoma football program. I think Texas do a little bit of the same, just in terms of like they have to get better, obviously, over the last 7 days since they played.
I think it's great, but the funny part is, if John Mateer never hurts his hand, let's say he plays last week against Kent State, there's no question like he's obviously playing. Do you think there's any chance they're practicing indoors the last 2 days?
Now say that again. If he was healthy,
If he's just healthy,
Never hurt his hand.
There's
no, yeah. Like
practicing.
there would be no reason. It would almost be like alarm bells would be going off. Like, why are they actually going
something
inside?
Happen.
Right.
I will tell you that I was contacted last night by someone with the athletic department, and they wanted
Saudi guy that keeps calling.
They wanted to anyway. Bahrain is the guy that I know, the Crown Prince Salman.
Need to get his money.
I know he's got a lot of it. No, but I was called, and they were a little upset that we weren't more, I don't know, effusive in talking about what Brent had said about helping rehabilitation, but it's not like he went into great detail or in the press conference yesterday talking about like they give this, it helps them with this much and that much.
No, he just said it was 90 degrees outside.
He said it was 90 degrees outside, and
it's going to be 90 degrees on Saturday too.
But it's like, why is everyone so sensitive? Like this is just, you can only control what you can control. Like,
and also, who cares? Like, you're practicing inside. Like, I know we've kind of had fun with it and stuff, but it's like, it's not that serious.
Yeah, you're welcome. Eddie got you tons of exposure today on last night on the Josh Pate show.
Yeah. Like,
don't be mad that people are jacking around. Like, you're welcome. We bring a lot of exposure to your program.
That's the stuff. Like, again, we talk about this all the time, guys. That's what college football fans love, is the uniqueness of it. Like, if it was just injury reports and that kind of crap, like, that's what makes college football different than the NFL. It's these stories.
You mean that doesn't come through in newsprint, Josh?
No, it does not. I mean, have I ever seen an NFL reporter hiding under the bushes? No, I have not. Eddie,
wow.
And do you really think
that's because there's a lot of give up on a lot of people out there? Nobody's dedicated like we are, Josh.
I do have a question, Eddie. Did you purposefully make that branch fall on you at the end? Or
no,
that was just by
happened.
Coincidence.
It just happened.
Everything that added
George
so much to the video.
As George can attest, the 2 videos that I've made this week have taken less than 2 minutes.
And let me tell you, folks, this guy is unbelievable. We get out of the car. He's like, just do this. And he does it in one take. And he'll tell me, he's like, I have no idea what I'm about to say. And he just wings it. And it's money. First take. No
I've
problem.
always said the dumber the video, the more popular they are. But something that I feel like I work a long time, which would be like in comparison, 30 minutes or something. Those are the videos that always flop. And it's like, well, I thought that was really good. But the stuff that we find to be stupid is usually the stuff that goes viral. And I think with as many eyeballs, it's kind of like the Baker stuff that blew up, back in 16, 17.
The Who's Your Daddy?
People are interested in Oklahoma, which I think is like a big not a big talking point, but is somewhat of a talking point in knowing that, I think OU football and going into this weekend in the game, for a lot of people nationally, it's a big narrative game for Oklahoma. If this is going to be is this for real under Brent Venables? Because I think a lot of people look through the lens that I think we've talked about and documented over the last 3 years, that it's been a little bit of a failure. And for them to be able to turn this around, and if they could walk out of Dallas 6-0, I think it'd be a big win, not just the obvious reasons, but from a narrative standpoint, just surrounding Oklahoma football in the SEC.
I mean, it's great. It's awesome. I mean, I hate that we're focusing on the negative, and but I get it. Like Brent's trying to. He may have an advantage, and he's trying to protect it.
Yeah.
And maybe that little
I don't think
advantage.
It's an advantage, though, is it? Is it
not knowing who the starting quarterback is? I don't think other teams
I do
like
think
that.
I don't think
I get that, but I don't know. Maybe I guess is Sark lying too when he says that they're preparing for John Mateer?
Probably. I mean, everybody.
You think that they're not? I mean, they're obviously having to prepare for both in a way. I just don't know. I
mean, look, if you're sitting there saying that kid had surgery 2 weeks ago, there's no way he's going to be ready for this, then you're not doing your job. But
right.
I mean, you've got to prepare for everything. It's just you can't prepare for everything. You have to pick and choose kind of what you're and they're going to do similar things. I mean, regardless of who the quarterback, they're going to run some of the same run plays, design runs, things like that. But you do worry more, obviously about John Mateer in the pass game than you do Michael Hawkins.
Well, the biggest question for me for if John's going to play is, can can it be injured worse? And that's like, obviously you can get injured anytime you play football. I mean more like if he throws 40 times in the game, is he going to wake up Sunday and be like, shit, my hand's all swollen, I'm not going to be able to play this week against South Carolina?
Yeah.
Like that, to me, I don't know the answer to that. Or is it one of those situations where, no, he's fine. Like if he plays, he'll be fine as long as he doesn't get hit in the wrong spot or whatever. Like, I don't know. I wanted to ask you guys, though, and we can keep talking about material. Do we all feel like he's going to play?
Yes.
Carrie?
I don't know.
Yeah. Josh?
Well, it's not. I mean, it's like not. Yeah, I definitely think he's gonna. But I agree. Like we don't know. But if I've got to make a call, I think he's gonna play.
What do you think?
I think so too. I felt much more confident about it Monday and Tuesday morning than I do right now. But I think he's going to play. I think if he, like, I had this conversation with my dad, and my dad made a good point because if John didn't practice all week, and he wakes up Saturday morning and and he can throw the ball, he's going to play. It doesn't matter. That's why, like, the good on good thing to me, like, doesn't like, yeah, sure, they'd like for him to practice some this week, but I guarantee you, if he were to wake up on Saturday morning and he can throw the football well enough to play, he's going to play in the game, and I think he's going to be able to do that.
I'm sorry, George. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I want to say I got to give it up to our members and even people on Twitter that picked up on that good on good and how clearly that was a designed, like, that's how we want to say that. Because he said it multiple times. And it was like, there's a reason he's saying it that way. They didn't put him out there with the first team. That's what he's telling you. Okay, great. Like, got it. That doesn't mean he didn't practice.
Well, or he's not throwing the football.
What we should have followed up and asked is, how much good on good work do you really do
on a Monday
during game week? And then I would have followed up with that and said, well, did Jake Michaela, Fabechuiwu, and Michael Fasusi do any good on good before the Auburn game? Because I don't think they practiced all week and then they played in the game. And I know it's a little different at quarterback, but like you could tell me John Mateer didn't practice all week, and if he wakes up on Saturday morning and throw the football, he's going to play.
I would also say too, on the idea too that they would put him in harm's way. Not to say that like OU coaches or anybody with the medical staff would. I think that they look at the bigger picture too. Like I that's definitely come across their radar of, okay, what happens if this were to happen, or if you were to re-injure, can you re-injure? We still don't know what technically the surgery was, right?
I want to get back to this, but Eddie, when you're out stalking, I know your vision is so good. People don't know this. You don't need binoculars.
No, I don't. It's thanks to my good friends over at Enjoy Vision. Tell you what, it's football season, Sooner Nation, and that means it's the perfect time to dial in your vision before you miss any of the Sooner magic, especially this weekend down in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl. The SEC schedule isn't easy, and it's only going to get tougher from here after a jaunt down to Dallas. Thankfully, LASIK at Enjoy Vision is here to save you. You can schedule a free consultation today. All you got to do is go to enjoyvision.com. That is the letter NJOY vision.com. Football season is why you LASIK. Enjoy Vision is where you LASIK.
The thing about the guys over at Cody Drug, Will Douglas, they're always looking for what's new out there in the world. And right now, peptides are the future of medicine. Cody Drug compounds them every day in their state-of-the-art sterile lab. They've got peptides for all different things. You can go weight loss, you can get energy, you can get focus. With popular names like Sermorelin, I think is how it's called. It triggers natural growth hormone release for anti-aging, fat loss, improved sleep, muscle growth, and recovery. Maybe Brett Venables will get the team on some Sermorelin. Now they don't have to do. They don't have anything that will heal thumbs like the certain quarterback's thumb, but they can help you look and feel your best. Cody Drug loves teaming up with Oklahoma providers and med spas to get your high-quality custom peptide therapy safely and fast. Visit CodyDrugRx.com to get started. Go visit Will on his Instagram page at CodyDrugRx, and he'll give you all the latest that's going on and coming out of Cody Drug RX. And we thank Enjoy for being great sponsors of the show. Okay. Really, there's no advancement on this right now. I mean, they're going to practice again tonight. I would assume Eddie will go over there and see if they're indoors or outdoors.
I don't know about that. Cubs play at 4 today.
Okay.
I will. I definitely on my way home will drive by and see if they're outside.
So, I mean, we'll continue to stay on it. But, I mean, look, Vegas is changing their lines. They're changing
I think the reality
Heisman odds.
is
everything's going
we're not
crazy.
going to know until Saturday. I think that's the honest truth.
What's
We're
your
really
guess
not
on
gonna-
what he's listed on the injury report
questionable?
tonight?
I think he'll be questionable tonight, Thursday, and Friday. Maybe
Probable
Friday.
is
Maybe
the best, right? Probable
probable.
is the
If he's
best.
listed as probable.
Questionable is the second best. Out? Is it out, or is there another one besides out?
No, that's
Or
it.
there's
It's
just those
out.
three.
Doubtful.
Doubtful.
If he's doubtful, that's not good.
No.
I don't know of anybody that's been listed as doubtful and then ended up playing. So questionable. You feel okay, I guess, but I wouldn't be shocked if like Friday night they just drop a bomb and he's not on there anymore. Like they take him off and it's like he's going to be available tomorrow. But I think it's going to be questionable all week. Yes, Eddie, you're making a face.
I don't think he believes they're just dropping.
I think it's all bullshit. I think he's going to play. I don't even think it's a question within the football offices if he's going to play. I don't know though. That's just my.
I like that.
That's my gut feel. But here's the other thing. My gut feel also tells me just because John Mateer plays, I'm getting to the point in the week where I'm starting to think that this is going to be a really tough game for OU to win. Like I go back and forth.
Well, it
'Cause
always. I mean,
there is like this
either way, I
idea
think.
that like as bad as Texas has been, and I think OU's going to have a lot of success getting. Like the offensive line for Texas isn't all of a sudden over the 6 days just going to become better out of thin air. I think we've seen that. We've lived it a year ago, knowing what a bad offensive line looks like and just how shit that makes everything else. But I do think that Arch, believe it or not, is a guy that can make some throws that some of these other guys haven't. And I could see them hitting on some explosive plays. That's all I'm saying.
And, I think...
I still think I'm going to pick OU to win, that kind of thing. I don't know. This is like, I feel like this is a big game for the program to kind of really solidify themselves of getting over a hump. But I say that, and that the other side of my mouth, you can talk about all the bad that's happened with Texas this year and the 2 losses that they've already had.
I
need somebody to talk me into it.
I think a big part of this game and why I give Texas a chance, if they're honest, if Steve Sarkisian is honest about what their failings are offensively, he's going to design a game plan that gives them a chance to win, which is short, quick passes, getting the ball out.
I don't think that doesn't beat OU though, does it?
It could though.
If
It
Michael
depends.
Hawkins is starting.
It depends. Yeah, it depends on like. I think it's whoever plays quarterback. It's going to be a low scoring game, and if OU makes a big mistake, which even Mateer has shown that he can turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Like, I think that. I think you're
and
right,
what
Terry.
happens if he gets hit? Running the ball and gets hit right in the hand.
Yeah, I mean, I
and-
think that Texas is going not a conservative game plan, but they're going to do a lot of quick stuff, get the ball out fast, and I think they're going to take shots because Arch did connect on some shots down the field. Like I think they're going to test Oklahoma's corners because that's one area that the OU defense, as good as they've been, they've given up some chunk plays in the past game.
Completely fair. I also know what this defensive line versus offensive line matchup looks like. And reversely, I think probably Texas saying a little bit of the same with their defensive line against Oklahoma that
I was going to say,
didn't look great last week.
What confidence do you have that OU's going to be able to score?
OU can at least pass block, or they could prior to last week. Like they've
let's
shown
face
an
it,
ability
Derek
to do
Simmons
that.
was the only one that was just like, whoa, what happened? Like,
Fair. Yeah, that's fair. I don't worry that much. I mean, they struggled a little bit with some of the twists and stuff, but I'm sure that's what they're going to work on all week because they know Texas is going to show them that look a ton, seeing if they fix the problem. So I think if that's the only thing I know about these 2 offensive lines, I think Oklahoma can pass block. Now, don't get me wrong. Colin Simmons is a mutant, and he's going to get some pressure sometimes, and he's going to get after Oklahoma at points. He's a really good player. There's just no way that doesn't happen. But at the same time, like, I can't think of a scenario where I'm like, yeah, okay, in that situation, Texas should be able to block Oklahoma. Like, I don't see it. I don't know when that comes.
It is going to be fun. And we talked about this a little bit on the practice report on Tuesday, I believe, just talking about Brent Venables versus Steve Sarkisian. And it was kind of brought up at the press conference, Josh. Just it is unique to have the coaches, the head coaches of both of these programs calling plays in the game. It's not something that you see very often.
No, because, the OC thing is semi-commonplace, but there's not a lot of head coaches that call their own plays. I mean, guys, from what I can gather, and I'm not sure this is accurate, but it kind of feels like Mike Elko has taken the reins at A&M. Like, it feels like that's what's happened there, and all of a sudden A&M's playing better defense. So, and to my knowledge, I think if that's the case, I think it's him and Brent. So, like, there's just not a lot of that around college football because guys, Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, great defensive minds are like, I'm going to hand it off to somebody else. And so, again, like, I just think that's and it is. It's a really cool matchup to watch those two square off because I think we know, again, I don't know, like, it's just both matchups are intriguing and they're so similar in some ways. I just see more avenues. And frankly, I see more playmakers on Oklahoma's offense than I do on Texas's right now. That's the thing. We can talk about the offensive line all we want. Who's going to make these big plays for Texas? They haven't been there all year. So where does it come now?
Who rushes for the most yards in this game and who is it? Or what is that number?
I think that they're both going to get sacked so often that they both cancel out. They're
I think
both
it's going to be
negative.
It'll be a quarterback that ends up rushing for the most in this game.
I bet it'll be a running back.
Do you think they combine for 100 yards rushing offense in this game between the two teams? I'm not sure they do.
Yeah.
I think one team will go for like 60 and the other will go for like 25 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, it could absolutely be the under of 100 total yards rushing.
That's crazy.
Or it's OU Texas and both teams will just run up and down the field all of a sudden.
All of a sudden they'll figure it out. You're right.
I feel like as much the degenerate in me, as much talk has been about how low scoring this is going to be, I feel like the over's the play.
What is the line for that?
I don't even know. I don't know if it's changed very much.
43?
That's so low for a college football game. Yeah. That's so low for a college football game, though. 43.
Oh, that's like a service academy.
Lower than 43. It's 42 and a half.
Wow.
You might be right.
Texas
you might have to bet it just
now down to a 1.5 point favorite, plus 1.5, minus 115 OU. You can get the OU money line at minus 102, Texas money line at minus 118.
Yeah, I'm showing down to -1 in a lot of places.
I think there's a chance it flips by the end of the week. Or becomes a pick'em.
I can see it becoming a pick'em.
I could see it going off at a pick'em.
Which, I saw Josh Pate's tweet saying that he checked with FanDuel and they said that line is with Mateer starting.
By the way, Pate picked Texas.
So did JD Piquel.
I don't think it's crazy. I mean, this is a game
obviously it's not crazy. I mean, Texas is favored.
Sure. Texas, and how much does it add into the game? I don't know. But this is one of the classic, like, your back's against the wall if you're Texas. This is basically it. We talked to Joe Cook a little bit about that on the game day preview that'll be up on Thursday on Soonerscoop.com's YouTube channel. That, Texas loses this game, and all of a sudden you're walking out of here 3-3. Things could really go south.
Well, their season would be over.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even more over than Penn State's is right now.
Well, no, I'm saying, like, maybe not even make a bowl game type of deal.
Oh, they'll make a bowl game.
I think that I would side with that, yes. But if you
I think
lose
they could
this
still
game,
go 8-4.
I think in this world of everything, like from a culture standpoint, from like a penalty standpoint, which kind of raises a lot of bells with me just in terms of Texas and what they're currently ranked from a team penalty margin. It's kind of shocking. It kind of signals to me, and not having sat and watched every game, that it's a very undisciplined team. Which, I don't know, is kind of telling coming off of what they were or where they were a year ago.
If Texas comes out of this 3-3, they've got Kentucky
and
then Mississippi State.
At Starkville.
Boy, the fact that we're viewing this as a toss-up, that says a lot. But they've got Georgia.
Loss.
They've got Texas A&M at home.
I think if they lose this game, they'll probably go like 7-5.
They got Vanderbilt at home.
They'll beat some of these teams.
You would think.
Let's say they beat Kentucky, Mississippi State, Arkansas. That's 7. Yeah, that's 7.
And they get to 8 if they win Saturday, obviously. But I don't know. I think there's some old Cotton Bowl scars that kind of come up in this game, but how many times have we gone down there and OU's been the team that's been outmatched? And I think everybody kind of knows what that record is over the last, 25 years or whatever it is, 18-7.
Have you found your favorite retro Commerce Street news report yet?
No, but I'm going to keep looking. I love that stuff. All these old reports from Dallas back in the day. For some reason, like 1969, there's a lot of video footage. I don't know why that is the case, though.
I'm sure most people just didn't upload it to the internet.
Well, it's in like the some kind of library down in Dallas. I think maybe the Bush Library or something. I don't know if that all that stuff was archived at a certain time, but there's like nothing from like 70 or 71. Like my uncle played in 71. I don't understand why it's only 69 that has a bunch of video that's out.
Did you ask
Looked
your
like
dad?
A fun time though down at Commerce Street back in the day.
Did
that
you
was
ask
never
your
part
dad
of
if
my
he
life.
ever partook?
Well, I mean, I don't think he was down there in 69.
But I'm just in Commerce Street in general when it was.
Yeah,
the
I've
Wild
heard
Wild
stories
West.
and stuff like back in the day, but yeah.
TVs being thrown out of hotels and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's awesome. You know who would have loved Commerce Street? I guess he still could. Still alive.
Still alive?
That we know of.
Who?
Mark Sanchez. He would have loved OU Texas weekend.
They would have got him in the paddy wagon before it got as far as it got, I think. God, that's just a horrible, man. Talk about ending your career. No, I don't even know what the gathering spot is now because, I mean, it was the West End when I was coming up, but that was just a disaster. I mean,
I think the answer is I don't think that there's like an official like, hey, this is where everybody goes. There's just a bunch
that's
of
the
bars and all
history.
that kind of stuff.
That's the history is that everybody goes to a certain thing.
I mean, my generation never did.
Yeah.
Where's my brother live? Is it Uptown? Is that what it's called?
I
Eddie?
think technically, yeah, it
There's
would
a
be.
lot of people that go out in Uptown.
Yeah. Uptown, and then I think for like people my age, just going over to people's houses for house parties and that kind of stuff, going to dinner.
Just like for people to stop shitting on my Mexican food choices in Dallas, okay? I don't, there's a whole thread going right now. I get it. I fully acknowledge it's not the greatest stuff in the world. It's not, but the pretentiousness has to stop. Because every time we get these Dallas food things, it becomes, oh, you got to go to Belinda's, it just opened, and it's like it turns into what's American Psycho all of a sudden, where everybody's sitting around looking at their business cards, comparing them to each other.
You're a pretentious foodie, and now you're going to judge other people.
How am I
for being
pretentious?
that
I
way?
said I like El Phoenix and Miko Sina. I'm getting drilled for that.
You drilled me
I
for
know,
when
because you
I
grew
said
up on that shit, but you always are like, oh, we went to this place and that place, and like you love.
Well,
a
that's the
fancy
thing.
dinner.
It's just like the people. They're like, oh, where do you like to go on Campus Corner? And they're like, Coaches. Like, that's not even on Campus Corner. That's downtown, and that's not even around. It hasn't been around in 20 years. Like these people, it's like, I miss O'Connell's when it was on Lindsay and Jenkins. And
Oh, I do too. They had the pizza over there.
Same.
You get pizza at a pitcher on Monday nights. It's like $5.
Carrie,
So good.
You drilled me on not liking Burger King.
I don't think I drilled you on it. I fully admit Burger King is 90% trash.
I think he just likes supporting one of our colleagues.
All right. But no, I mean, look, go wherever you want in Dallas. I don't care. Just stop telling me my choices are stupid. I don't tell you your choices are stupid.
You know this only feeds it, right? Like this,
But it's
this
like,
is just gonna.
I'm
it's
not
gonna grow.
saying I would take Miko Sina over like Frida or something. I mean, that's not Tex-Mex though. And I haven't been to 1492, but I've heard good things. But it's not Tex-Mex. Tex-Mex is
I live in
Cholinos.
Houston.
It's Ted's. It's Hidalgo's. It's what's the Alfredo? Like that. Those are Tex-Mex places.
Oh, I mean, when I come back to Oklahoma, I have to go to Cholinos because I just miss the queso. Love the queso.
See,
at
I think
Cholinos.
I
what
think
separates
Cholinos
it
is
from me.
trash.
And that's fine. Like again, like it's not a. But
I'm not getting a gift card from Cholinos anytime soon. Shout out
Yeah, I don't
Boomerang
think they're
that
going to
just
be
sent us one.
advertising.
So anyway,
But yeah, give me some queso and Cholinos, a little dressed Modelo or something, man. I'm in.
and the other thing is my parents have lived there for over 20 years. I don't need your restaurant recommendations. I know what I like to eat.
love, this is something that me and my buddies really get a kick out of. I do love a good thread on the Crimson Corner OU Texas week of what's the best Mexican restaurant in Addison. I love those. It's like, well, have you ever been to Dallas?
Pappasitos.
Have you ever been to Dallas? I also do like the I'm going to my first OU Texas game. What should we do before the game? Threads. Those are always pretty good too.
Yeah, it just gets when you bring up Dallas and places to go, things to do, it just gets a little weird, which is good. We like a little weird. So, okay. I think the one thing that we haven't really talked about is just OU's defense in general and just how well they can disrupt this game. I mean, Josh, you've done a lot of the film study and stuff, and I know George, you've looked at some probably some overhead stuff. I'll just call it that. And I've seen a lot of Texas people kind of illustrating like the problems that they've had on the offensive line, and of course, I know Gabe's talked a lot about it, but Josh, it's just like I think their biggest problem, and I saw a lot of people talk about their left side is just a disaster. And they've tried like different guys there, but they just can't get it figured out. Like, how difficult do you think it will be for that offensive line against this defensive line on Saturday?
And what's the problem?
Oh, it's a nightmare.
What is the actual issue? I don't it doesn't compute with me that Texas can go from the group that they had last year to this.
Well,
whatever
like I said
this is.
in the war room, like Texas, like they were the ones that first started an NIL club just to get offensive linemen in there, that pancake club or whatever it was called. Like, they knew the value of going out and signing the best offensive linemen. They tried to throw a big check at Michael Fasusi. I'm sure, was Foje down to them before he picked Tech?
No, because he was so early
or not
on.
Foje. I mean, not Ryan Foje.
Fasusi?
No, the guy that went to Tech.
Ojo.
Felix Ojo. Sorry. I get all my Ojos and Fojes messed up.
Everybody had him pegged to Texas. That was going to be the idea. And then, like the last week, it was like, oh, Tech's starting to get involved. And you're like, okay, I know where this is trending. So, but yeah, guys, there is, you look at what they've done and, some of their PFF stuff is just god awful. Their pass blocking. And again, like you nailed it, Kerry, it feels like their guards are their big problem. And you think about what OU throws at the guards with Jaden Jackson, David Stone, Dominic Williams. Like, how do you fix that? Like, how do you fix that in a week? I don't understand. Like, if you told me tackles are their problem, okay, we're going to chip a tight end to R. Mason Thomas, and, we'll see if we can live or cope with Marvin Jones Jr. Yeah, okay, you're going to have some problems there. But when OU can just throw wave after wave of, like, quality bodies at you on the inside, I don't know how you fix that. I don't know how you stop that. And there's we talked about this in the Game Day Rewind kind of briefly. Guys, it's tough enough to stop defensive line pressure anywhere and to run a functional offense if you are under pressure. But if that pressure is right in your face, it's coming right up the middle of your offensive line, there's nothing you can do. You have no time. I thought Cole Kubelik made a really good point. He was talking about it in the Cube Show where he was talking about how impressive R. Mason Thomas was coming across the face of the offensive tackles in the run game. And when you do that, you're giving the running backs no options. Like, so what do they do? And we know Texas's run game has struggled anyway. So now that you're facing easily the best unit they're going to face, guys, Florida's probably greatest weakness is their defensive line, and they just manhandled Texas. So to watch OU knowing that's their strength, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the answer is. They're going to go short passing. We know that. But that's not anything Texas doesn't do already. They haven't done it with much success to begin with.
Yeah, and what's funny is...
All right, I'm back. You've talked me into it.
How many points would you say Texas, like if they scored this amount of points, you would feel good about Oklahoma winning the game?
Like, how many points can Texas score and you still feel good?
Yeah.
With who's at quarterback?
So you're basically
John
asking how many points can OU score?
Yeah, John Mateer's at quarterback. I think if they hold
28.
I think if they hold them to, I don't think OU's going to score 28 points. I think if they hold Texas to under 20, they'll win the game.
I'd
It'd be their,
if Texas doesn't get above 17, I don't see much way OU doesn't win the game.
It'd be their 87th consecutive victory holding a team under 20 points or 21 points.
Well, that's not right. That's not right. I would just because Texas' defense is really good. I don't want to act like I don't recognize that they're really, really good.
I was thinking more like 13.
One of the best.
13.
Yeah,
okay. I could
yeah, because I could guys. There's
You
absolutely
guys think
a scenario
this is
where
going to
this
be
is like
really
a 10-7
low scoring,
game.
huh?
Yeah, the line told you so.
No, I get it. I
There's
get
a
it.
chance
for sure.
43 doubles the total. Like that I can see that game.
I think
You going to give me a total of 22? 22 and a half?
I am not going to bankroll that, Eddie, but boy, I don't think 43 is kind of hard for me to get my brain to.
Do you think? So
I don't know.
I saw somebody joking about this. Could it end up being? Maybe it's Caden McFarland. Could it end up being? What year was the 12-0 game?
2005, 2006,
Something like that.
2004.
No,
something like,
it was,
no, 3,
four.
3,
It was
2,
Adrian's
2,
freshman
3, 4.
But
It was Adrian's freshman year. It was 04.
Could you buy that it be something like that, where it's like? I mean, I don't think OU's
God,
going to
that'd be
shut them
so
out.
disgustingly-
If they shut out Texas, though, that'd be insane.
That'd be so just disgusting sick. Not the good kind of sick either. I know that you.
I don't know.
You asked,
If OU shuts them out and wins in that fashion, that'd
it'd be awesome.
It'd be pretty badass.
You asked Kobe McKenzie about that, Carrie, didn't you? Just how much as much as we've kind of become conditioned to the idea of these always being some types of shootouts, would it mean more to the defense if they could win a 3-0 game or something like that, something along those lines?
Yeah, and he said yes, like he would.
But he also said that he'd take a
he'd
49,
take 56 to
48
40, 56 to 55, but he'd love, a low scoring shutout win.
The Red River Rock fight, man. Like that could be the new name. It's a lot more PC than the shootout. Everybody's happy, but it is, guys. I mean, these two defenses are just so far ahead of where the offenses are right now. And I think that's what if I'm an OU fan, that's what I take solace in. Like, I can see Oklahoma's offense doing some things to have some success. I just don't see Texas having consistent success. Like, I don't believe that.
Here's the thing,
Red River Rock Fight would be an awesome name.
What about Red River Stoning?
David would have to have a big game.
I think that was my OU Texas freshman year.
God, it's so hard to stay on train of thought with Eddie around. I don't even know where I was going. Oh, I think I know. No, I lost it.
Man.
I did present this other question to you guys earlier in the week. If you flipped OU and Texas's first 5 games, what would each team's record be?
It's a great question.
Going into this game.
I think OU would have lost up in Columbus.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm. First game.
But the way that it's just so hard because the way that Texas has played offensively, would they have beat Auburn or Michigan? I think that they would have.
I think they would have lost one of those games. I don't know if they win both.
I don't know.
I think the most likely is they're both 4-1 heading
4-1 or 3-2 possibly for Texas.
Or 3-2 for Oklahoma.
Sure.
I mean, I certainly don't think OU's winning at the swamp if Michael Hawkins is the quarterback.
That's fair.
Point.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, and here's the other thing, and I know Arch has had more games than Mateer has, but we look at like OU's roster
This year.
right? This year or something. We look at OU's roster, and we look at a guy like Giovanni Gibson, or we look at like a guy like Isaiah Satania that's coming on, and you're like, man, this offense can get better with more time, with more reps. Like, who's to say Texas can't get better? I mean, they obviously have a longer way to go.
I think they can and they will from a quarterback standpoint and from just a skill position standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't buy into the idea because maybe it's because we lived it a year ago of thinking, yeah, the offensive line can play better. I just don't think that they're going to change completely their identity, I guess, overnight.
I just don't think that. I think we'll look up by the end of the season and maybe Texas offense has it going. I just don't know if they can do it this week
against this defense.
Against this defense.
Yeah,
and maybe they do.
Again, guys, it's like saying those. Remember, we'd watch those old Texas defenses, which would, as much as people talked about OU, Texas defenses were pitiful back then too. And you'd watch them like they're going to figure it out this week against Baker Mayfield, Lincoln Riley. Okay, like Texas is going to figure it out against Brent Venables and that defensive line. Nah, like that's not going to happen. Like. Now maybe some fluky stuff happens and, they get some short fields or like, okay, like if you tell me the game plays out that way, sure, that could happen. But Texas is going to consistently move the ball against Oklahoma. No, it's just not, that's not going to happen.
When's the last time OU came into this game with the better offensive and defensive line?
That's a great question because I feel like we're only 2 or 3, maybe 4 years removed from yelling consistently on the Eskridge Lexus postgame podcast about Texas being the more physical team, even in games that OU won.
You know
I think
what?
the biggest meltdown was 2013, Carey.
I think
the Josiah St. John.
That was 2015.
2015, yeah.
That was when their offensive line was just putrid. And
then they
guys,
switched
I would say just purely offensive and defensive lines, that would have been the last, or the last win? Was that the last win? Dylan Gabriel's second year?
23.
Because
23.
You had...
The offensive line was good that year.
The offensive line was good, and you had Perrion Winfrey and Isaiah Thomas. Was that not
that wasn't
year?
23. That was 21. 23 defensive line was like Isaiah Coe and Jordan Kelly.
Okay, so they weren't the better.
Yeah, it was solid, but
Yeah.
it was nothing.
But the problem is I don't know enough about what Texas had some of those years.
Okay, so what year would have the Isaiah and Perrion have been?
21. I think that's probably the correct answer. In 21, OU's offensive line.
That was the year that they moved Isaiah inside at halftime, right? Like
and
he
they
started playing defensive tackle.
He just destroyed them in the second
Yeah, he
half.
was just killing them, and Perrion was good, and they had... God, was Nick on that team still?
Yeah, Benito was on that team.
Oh, yeah.
Perrion Winfrey. And that offensive line was pretty
players
decent.
on that team, man.
I mean, Nick Benito, what he's doing in the NFL right now is just insane. I mean, he's arguably the best pass rusher in the league.
He's going to make a case for Defensive Player of the Year. Like that's a possibility for him.
It's awesome.
That's crazy.
Anyways, my point is all of this, the John Mateer talk, obviously you want him to play. But if you're Oklahoma and you just say, okay, and this game is often won in the trenches, right? Every game is. You got to feel good that you feel like you have the edge on the offensive and defensive line. Now, OU's offensive line, I don't think has an edge over Texas's defensive line, but OU's offensive line, I think, is more capable than Texas's offensive line.
Certainly for what we've seen.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
And I also think you have to feel good about special teams. I think Oklahoma's special teams, the way they've played, they're a better unit than Texas's special teams.
And that's kind of where you get to the point of they've been so good, but you go down there and I think
things can
maybe
happen.
Somewhat untested to a certain extent, whether it be Tate Sandell or Grayson Miller. But you go down there and you have a gaff on a punt team and you get it blocked and all of a sudden they return it
or
for a
Satania,
touchdown.
As good as he's been returning, it still sometimes is like a hold your breath moment every once in a while with him where he's like...
Well, and especially down there because of the way that the ball...
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody's always kind of explained it to me, and maybe it might be the same here in Norman, but some of these stadiums where the ball leaves the roof, if that makes sense, like leaves the stadium when it goes up before it comes back down, you can get it lost, especially with the shadows later on in the day. I don't think the 11 a.m. game has very much trouble. I'd be interested to go back and look to see if do 2:30 OU Texas games end up having more muff punts or anything.
Yeah. And the same thing with Sandell. You love what he's shown you so far. He's never kicked in a game like this,
Sure. It is kind of the irony too that they were, OU and Texas were both looking for kickers. They ended up getting Shipley. OU had to quote unquote settle for Sandell. It's just I guess that kind of happens every year with these rosters because they already overlap a little bit in the guys that they recruit. But everybody, it seems like, has connections. Even Kobe McKenzie, who was committed to Texas for 9 days.
Yeah, I look. It's a great game. I mean, I'm not happy for Eddie because he doesn't like it, but I'm happy for the fans that they're going to have a better experience too with the $120 million renovations that they put out there. With concourses will be
something like
different.
That.
Bathrooms will be nicer.
Bathrooms will be nicer. They won't break like they do almost every year, which is awful. And then you don't have bathrooms, but
new press box, which no one cares about, but except for us. But yeah, Eddie's he feels like they've ruined the character of the old
I say
gal.
that mostly in jest. I am excited to see like the new look. I was watching a video from I don't even know who was playing. I think it was like a SWAC maybe conference game. They played something there last week.
Okay.
At the Cotton Bowl, and it definitely does look different inside the stadium, like just from the field level. It definitely you can see like I guess like in the south end zone where the tunnel is, obviously, you can see like the kind of the new, I don't know what that would be, like a new tier, if you will, like between the upper deck and the lower deck, the concourse. But there's like actual like buildings now, or not buildings.
It's where the press box is.
Right.
Yeah.
It just looks different.
Like windows and stuff.
Yeah. It looks weird.
The suites look nice too up top.
Yeah, they do. And Texas is the host this year, so it's just like with everything else. They get to.
How are they splitting up those suites?
They mostly to the Texas people get them, and I think I know like Joe Castiglione has his own box that he's not like watching it with Chris Del Conte, but
so OU would get those. But suites a lot of next year.
Yeah, and a lot of what I was told, I was talking to Joe Jr. about this yesterday. And by the way, Gerald McCoy coming up on the Family Business this week. We're talking about waves of guys at the defensive line to bring in. You know who he was most intrigued by?
Who?
Grayson Halton.
Yeah.
He thinks he could be a 10-year NFL guy.
Whoa.
Just because he said, you can watch a video, but he said the quick twitch that he has and the way that he's able to capitalize on the edges, of leverage and stuff like that. He loves him.
I would imagine for an offensive lineman, somebody like Gabe could probably talk about this more in depth, but I would imagine for an offensive lineman like that is already struggling a little bit, maybe questioning and having to think on his toes, facing somebody that is as quick as some of the guys are in Oklahoma's interior. I would imagine that's like the worst possible matchup you could have, rather than somebody that's just trying to overpower you. I don't know.
I agree, Eddie. Just again, especially with the way Texas wants to play, it's not like they want to run right at you. They want to play in space and get into room, and so to have to chase those guys around, to chase Grayson Halton, who like Kerry's saying from Gerald, like he's going to play you on the edges. He wants to get around you. He's not trying to mess with you. And David. That's a crazy thing about David Stone. David Stone is the guy of the group that can play it either way. He can be whatever you want him to be. Like, he can play the edge of you, or he can run right over you.
Yeah, and let me be clear. He wasn't like he's better than David Stone. I think he loves David Stone. So, I mean,
sure.
He was just saying the guy that stands out to him that nobody really talks about. So
yeah,
very true.
David has some Gerald in him. So
yeah, I mean,
there's some similarities in the way they play.
Now thinking about it, I mean, he was talking about he could be in that line of Tommy Harris, Gerald McCoy, David Stone, if he understands that's what he wants to do. That he wants to be considered that type of guy. So it is amazing with David Stone. I mean, he's made a huge leap mentally. You talk to everybody, but you're seeing it on the field. It's been impressive to watch from a guy that almost portaled out of here last spring.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think back to that moment. It's also crazy to think back to that moment and you saw the people that were like, yeah, just let him walk. Let him get out of here. I think those guys are important to the program.
Love the program enough.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. If there was one guy that really has not a disappointing year, that hasn't produced on either side of the ball as much as you thought, that you would like to see have a breakout game in this game, who would it be?
Kendall Daniels.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Just defense or anybody?
Anybody.
Jade Knott.
Yeah.
Jade Knott. That's what I thought we'd all run.
Jade Knott. 100%.
I had one player that came into mind, and that is Deion Burks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had moments early. The Michigan game, he was fantastic.
Over 100 yards.
Had the big catch downfield at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't pushed the ball.
It just feels like every time
more.
that this offense is like kind of taking that step, and it's like, okay, next game, you really want them to take that big step.
Well, remember they go to Temple and they kind of feature
injuries.
Satania a little bit more on some of the sweeps and stuff, and
that was such an ass whooping early. I think that they kind of called off the dogs a little bit up in Philly. To an extent. I guess what was it? 41-3 or whatever it was at one point.
42-3.
40. That was the final.
Yeah.
30. So it was 28.
Yeah, going into that fourth quarter. It's like,
sorry.
No, go ahead,
What'd
Josh.
you
You
say?
haven't named somebody, so.
No. I was going to say because Ott would have probably been my answer too, but just for the sake of variety, Marvin Jones Jr. I feel like he's playing good football. I don't want to say it like he hasn't been good. It's kind of like Kendall Daniels, but I keep waiting for that moment where you're like, there he is. Okay, now this is his. But 2 sacks against Texas or something. Really have a big, second half or something where you're like, okay, that was him making a real impact and being having a moment we'll all kind of remember.
I certainly think that that opportunity's got to be there for the tackles. I just think back to how many big plays did Ethan Downs make in this game over the last 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot.
That's a good point.
I just want to see Kendall Daniels. I feel like we've only seen Kendall Daniels make one play, and I know he's probably playing better than that. We just don't see it. But he had that one big hit against Michigan on the little screen pass or whatever. I want to see him make a game-changing play.
This would be a game for Kendall
close.
Daniels. This would be a game for Kendall
Yeah.
Daniels. If it's a defensive slogger, he could make an impact. I think you would see him in there more, but it almost seems like getting the big leads has kind of hurt him because other teams are having to throw the ball so much they'd rather have somebody in there that's more of a pass defender or more of a corner type at the Cheetah. And, with the blitzing, I just don't think Kendall Daniels is a guy that fits in to their blitz packages as much, which kind of surprises me because I would have thought it would have been the other way around. But, you see Reggie Powers coming in there in that Temple game, and, it just seems like Brent's always, putting safeties or corners in blitzes instead of, like a Kendall Daniels at Cheetah. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. That's just off the top
Setting
of
him
my
up
head.
for this week.
Maybe that's what we.
Reggie Powers is going to drop back in coverage, and now they're bringing Kendall.
Ooh, I like it. Josh,
I don't even know if that works.
as we said, it is Texas's show this week, but I know we talked about Cooper Witten last week, and I think he was talking about going to the game, and I think it's one of those deals. Texas really can't have a lot of contact with him other than just giving him the tickets, but because of that, I think they're just kind of like, if a big recruit calls us and says, I want to go to the game, we'll at least show him some goodwill.
Oh, absolutely. There's always that element of they're going to get, there's going to be guys there. And I think the most key difference you usually see is, OU's going to have all their commitments there. They're going to have all the kids that are, for OU this year, the Cooper Hackett's, the Caden Pennies, all the 2026 guys, they'd all be there, Ryder Mix.
But Texas doesn't want them in the building, basically.
Exactly. Those guys, Texas don't want those guys around. I will say there are some names, like I said, just the fact that Cooper Witten even acknowledged that there was a game going on tells me he's probably going to be there. But, it's unlikely that will ever be confirmed until someone just sees him there. But have run down a few guys that are going to be Jerry Outhouse, the corner from North Crowley. He's going to be there this weekend. Talk to Sam Spiegs. I think Sam Spiegelman. I don't know why I shortened that like he was on Twitter.
I think his Twitter's just Spiegs, isn't it?
Jaquan Snell from Waxahachie, he'll be there. He's a guy that I know OU's really high on. I don't know how heavily I think OU's really involved there. One of probably the two most interesting ones beyond Outhouse are Julian Caldwell, the wide receiver from Argyle that OU offered a feu weeks ago, I think off the Michigan game, if my memory serves me right. He's the kid just having a huge junior year. The night before OU offered, I think he had like a 240-yard night or some crazy thing. So he's having a big year. And then Brian Swanson, the offensive lineman from South Oak Cliff, who a year ago I thought would be one of the pivotal guys for OU on the offensive line in 2027. And now, is kind of like, is there room for this guy? Is that going to work out? Like I can't imagine a world where they wouldn't take him, but he and Caden Penny are kind of similar types of players where they're probably athletic enough to be tackles, but they're probably guards. And I like Brian Swanson a lot. So if OU wanted to take him or could take him, great. But he'll be there, and I think that is those are some of the highlights early in the week. Now, obviously, more guys will confirm and be added to that list, but those are some of the kind of early standouts of guys that Texas has invited that do have OU connection.
And again, it's not like it would be a miracle probably if a commitment came, but like you're not really worried about Texas, in terms of what that means for them to host recruits at the Red River rivalry.
Yeah, you probably don't want Texas to invite a commit just because you don't love it. But at the same time, does it really matter? No. Like there's not a lot of subterfuge there, and Oklahoma can see where the recruits sit just as easily as Texas can, and that's really all you can do with it. So OU's going to know if some kid shows up on Texas's dime. But
what is the most? Are there any stories over the years of like really committed players to Oklahoma that like Texas invited, or the other way around, like OU took a chance to maybe invite a Texas? Because it used to be, I think you could go down on the field before the game, maybe 10, 15 years ago. But
I want to say that's right.
Isn't there? Aren't there a couple of stories out there of guys that were just like invited by Texas and were just obnoxiously OU fans the entire time they were sitting in the recruiting section?
I can't and I again, if one of those things, if I sat here for a while, I bet I could come up with a couple. The two that I think OU fans will like the most, guys that they weren't committed, but everybody had them to Texas. They were going to Texas. The first one is probably the most famous recruiting thing, in the last 25 years. That's Adrian Peterson. Went there. He was going to Texas, grew up with, posters of, Ricky Williams on his wall and that kind of stuff, and watched OU just massacre Texas that day in 2003. I think that was the 65-12 game, if I remember right.
Maybe 65-14 or something like that.
63-14.
Basically walked out and was like, I'm going to look at OU a little closer. Like it started to really change the way he was looking at Texas, because I think it was just as long as Texas doesn't give me a reason not to go there, I'm going to go to Texas. And then they kind of gave him a reason. So that changed everything. And then the other I would say is probably Jamarcus McFarland, another guy that everybody thought was going to go from Lufkin to Texas. And I know his college career didn't go the way OU fans hoped it would, but at the time, guys, he was the number one defensive tackle in the country. He was a big, big deal. And, really Jackie Shipp's last big win at Oklahoma was Jamarcus, and closing on him Christmas night or Christmas Eve night. I can't even remember which one it was. It was one or the other. I just remember being at home and that story broke, and it, you had internet on your phone, but it wasn't the same. And it was a whole disaster trying to track that story down because Jamarcus just didn't talk to anybody.
Except Thayer Evans.
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
Who I went to high school with.
PC West, stand up.
Uh-huh.
Proud product of the Putnam City Academy, or Putnam City School District.
Yeah, he went to Putnam City, I think, through his junior year, and then transferred to West his senior year. And that was my exposure to Thayer Evans.
He had already been indoctrined, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was okay. I wish I could have terrible reviews of him, but some of the things that became are not overly shocking.
Okay, so talked a lot about something on the recruiting report on Monday that has now kind of advanced itself, and that is the decommitment of Milan Paris. Josh, I believe you said that Miami's a real threat here as well.
That was the vibe coming into the weekend, and I talked to two different people about his visit, and one came away Oklahoma's in really good shape here. They to the point that I almost wondered when he announced his decommitment last night. I was like, is something about to happen here? But I don't think that's the case. I think he's going to go visit Miami. He's going to go visit Oregon. Guys, when those two schools are in it, we'll see. I think they are willing to play a game that OU's not always willing to play
Especially for receivers.
Slip there. Yeah, they're not always going to do that at receiver. Offensive line, OU will go to war. Defensive line, yep, same thing. But like receiver, I think they try to pick their battles a little more strategically. So we'll see. But the visit went well, but my impression was still like Miami seems to kind of have his ear. And he's like, again, he's taken an official visit to Miami, which again, he took to Oklahoma last week and he took his OU official. He's already working on another trip to Miami, like just kind of unofficially. I feel like that's a pretty big tell on kind of where his head's at, but we'll see. I don't want to rule anything out or say it just couldn't happen.
So Josh, Hayes Fawcett tweeted yesterday that maybe OU's got a commitment. Any idea? Like, I know you don't want to like spoil for anybody, or is it 2026, 2027? Like what's going on there? Because I think a lot of people saw that. And then I think it was like an hour later, the Milan Paris decommitment happened. So like everybody kind of connected that dot, even though it sounds like Milan Paris is probably still a while away from making a decision.
Yeah, I don't. It's definitely not Milan Paris or Milan. I'm not. Kids never talked to me, so I'd be lying if I said I knew how to say the name. But I think I do. It's a 2026 commitment, is my understanding of the situation. I don't have an exact timeline. Now, what I can say is yesterday I put in a prediction for Jacob Curry, the linebacker from Florida. And guys, as Eddie, we were doing the recruiting report earlier this week, and I gave you some video of some guys to watch. Mm-hmm. If he should join the commitment list at some point soon, he's going to be on the recruiting report. That dude's tape is fun to watch. Like, he is super aggressive, real high energy. Guys, he reminds me of Kip Lewis, like almost a dead-ass ringer for him. Like the way he runs, plays, he's about 6'1", 210, just flies all over the field. Like, he is – you can see what OU sees there. That's not one of those guys where like, oh, I'm kind of in, kind of out. I get why he's not like a top 100 guy in the country, because he's not the biggest guy in the world. But, man – it's not hard to imagine Brent Venables finding a really natural role for him.
So, Josh, if they were to get Curry, or whoever this is in 26, what's left in the 26 class? Like, what is wide receiver? It seems maybe an offensive lineman. Yeah. What else is left there?
Yeah, to me, I think obviously we know Daniel McMorris is a guy that we would kind of expect to end up in the class. Wide receiver, I still think it's one or two. I think OU would like to take two. Based on what I kind of hear with Paris, again, and OU's not going away. There are people that think they've really got a chance there, so we'll watch that. We'll kind of see. I think Jaden Pettit, the kid that's committed to Wisconsin that OU was in on really early, and Davian Gross. Now, you talk to some people, and they'll tell you, OU's kind of being cool with Davian Gross. Like, they're staying in contact, but it's not like a real hard press. They want to see what I think happens with Florida, because if Billy Napier can, for the second straight year, find a way to pull himself out of the fire, the kid probably sticks with Florida, because the things that were there didn't really change. So he can stick with that choice. If what we all expect to happen happens and Napier gets fired, then I think Oklahoma's going to be in really good shape for Davian Gross. And if you were to get those two, Jaden Pettit at 6'5", 220, and Davian Gross is kind of a slot, explosive, kind of a – guys, almost like a Mark Clayton kind of player. Like that. That's kind of bigger, like lower body, very, very good in the open field, very good after the catch, that kind of thing. Like, that's where I think he really excels. So, I think those two alone would make that wide receiver room really jump, in my opinion, from a solid group right now into a pretty good one for him at Jones. I'm trying to think of who else would be left. Like I said, Curry would be part of that equation. Guys, the other thing I would say is I'm not sure Daniel McMorris would be the end of the line on the offensive line. And a guy that I like, that I know they're really high on, is Desmond Green, a kid from South Carolina, committed to Florida as well, and took an official visit to Oklahoma this summer. From everything I gathered, really liked his trip. I think it's a situation where Florida was willing to go over the market a little bit more than OU was, and I think that's what kind of ended up playing out. Maybe Oklahoma could revisit that if things don't work out well for Billy Napier in Gainesville.
Josh, he's the kid that went to Game 1 of the NBA Finals, right? When he was in town?
Yes. And an absolutely massive human being. Just enormous.
Yeah.
So, anything else that you wanted to hit on recruiting, Josh?
We haven't had any commitments since the last. I'm trying to think. Have we? We haven't had any.
No, just the Hayes eyeballs or your eyeballs on Hayes' tweet.
You did on Friday night last week. Went and saw Cooper Witten. You can watch the entire interview that Josh did with Cooper after the game, and obviously had an exceptional game. You can see some of the highlights as well. Just kind of a continuation of the discussion that we've had with the recruiting report in terms of Cooper Witten. I mean, we're going to talk about him for probably the next year and a half. So I would just throw that out there as well.
Yeah, guys, I mean, he's what you'd expect him to be. He's the number one linebacker in the country. He's really, really good. I think as a receiver, he's a little more natural right now than he is as a linebacker. And again, his dad's Jason Witten. It makes all the damn sense in the world that's a very easy thing for him to do. Because, I mean, guys, when they needed yardage, it was like there was nobody else out on the field. Like, they were looking to him, and they went to him, and just about every time he delivered. Like, he can get open when he wants to get open, and like I said, he was fighting off some cramping and some other stuff, and he plays both ways for Liberty Christian. So, on a night in the low 90s in North Dallas, he was understandably a little worn down, but was really impressed. Probably about the quietest 16-tackle night you've ever seen. And I don't know if that number is official, but it was somewhere in that ballpark. He had a big night defensively as well. And again, just a kid that runs really well. He's super athletic. He's obviously, been around football. He's a guy that just kind of breathes it. He makes a ton of sense. I mean, we don't know exactly what Nate Dreiling values and that kind of stuff yet. We haven't learned all of those things about him. But just watching him work with linebackers over the summer and, what you guys got to see in spring practice, I've got a feeling this kid's a really good fit for him from a personality standpoint as well.
I'm yawning like an idiot. I'm sorry. George, any updates on John Mateer? Is he playing? We're an hour and 12 minutes into this podcast.
Check the availability report tonight.
7 o'clock, I believe it comes out?
Usually around 7:10. I'll have it posted on the board and on X and everything. So I don't think we're going to learn anything from
questionable.
it, though. I think it's going to be questionable.
My choice. Or my prediction.
Eddie, notable baseball commitment this here in the last 24 hours or so.
Yeah, Bo Bentley's brother committed to Oklahoma. I was just looking at that thread a little bit ago. Pretty cool. I believe his name is Noah Bentley.
I remember when we went down and saw Bo, Josh, he lit up when we started talking about baseball with each other. So, and then I didn't. Yep. He would tell me that he has two brothers, I believe, that are both really good baseball players.
Yeah, I think they're both younger. I think this is the middle.
Okay,
and then there's another one.
Was he at a JUCO?
I want to say. Oh well, maybe there is a brother. Maybe this is the youngest brother. Then
I think.
So he has an older brother. He's the middle. Okay. That makes sense.
Yep. I think that's right.
My apologies to the Salina community. My apologies to the Bentley family. Wholeheartedly.
So his younger brother is the one that committed to the baseball program.
Correct.
Very nice.
Wait, no. Older brother committed. He's in JUCO.
Damn it.
Okay, so he had I knew he had a brother in JUCO. He told me that,
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's his brother. He committed. I think he's 2 years older than Bo.
Okay.
And then
he has
a younger brother who I want to say is like a 7th, 8th grader, somewhere in that kind of ballpark.
No commitment announcements coming for his younger brother, anytime soon. So, all right. Well, I mean, look, OU Texas coming up.
Good weekend of college football too. There's some good games.
It's an awesome weekend.
Ohio State, Illinois.
In.
Oh yeah.
Alabama, Missouri. In.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
Those are the 11 a.m. games. The
Indiana, Oregon. Is at the same time as the OU game, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's the CBS game. Even Friday night, if you're a real college football sicko, drive up to Denton. Go to North Texas, South Florida.
Alabama, Missouri.
Not a terrible game.
That should be fun.
How about Georgia, Auburn?
Yes.
What are the odds Jackson Arnold's still a starting quarterback after that game?
100%. I think Auburn's going to win.
Oh.
Wow, that's a big prediction.
Whoa.
That is definitely not what you were saying a week ago.
Penn State Northwestern.
How about Michigan at USC?
Yeah, did you see the
No, I have not.
Sharon
I have not
Moore.
kept up with this. What happened?
Sharon Moore basically Sharon Moore, this was from a tweet from Clayton Safey,
Our guy.
Michigan guy. Sharon Moore said this week that the game at USC is, quote, is sold out, quote, because Michigan's coming. Lincoln Riley responded to that by saying, I don't really care what he says, end quote. Tickets are still available for USC's remaining home games. This is the first sellout of the season for the Trojans. And I will ad-lib at the Mecca.
That is amazing.
Sharon Moore is not wrong.
USC had 3 sellouts last season. All came against big brands: Nebraska, Penn State, Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, and we saw the amount of Michigan fans that came to Norman.
Yeah.
I mean, I am not surprised. They are definitely traveling.
Well,
to
and it's
LA.
another one of those trips that I would imagine somewhat like kind of OU up at Temple for a lot of people that are Michigan fans that live out in California. I would imagine this is one of the only times outside of maybe going to the Rose Bowl that you can get to go see them.
I kind of think USC might win that game, though.
I was not that impressed
think that's
with
crazy.
Michigan against
I'm not
a
sure
team
how
they
good.
should have beaten more in
I
Wisconsin.
don't think
last weekend.
USC's terrible.
This goes back to my thought on like the OU game. OU's done what they're supposed to do. I really truly do not know how good Michigan or Auburn is, and I think we might find out this weekend how good Michigan, Auburn, and OU is.
I would say that I feel that's to be the same, and in fact, over the next couple of weeks, I think that we're going to start being able to kind of decipher where some of these teams are at.
I can tell you who Auburn is. Auburn is a team capable of hanging with just about anybody, but incapable of beating anybody worth a shit.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Georgia currently
As long as Jackson Arnold is the quarterback, he's not getting them over that hump.
Georgia 3.5-point favorite this weekend.
It's in
Auburn.
Auburn.
That's a 6:30 game.
It's a night game. It's going to be a tough place to play. I think Auburn can stop them. I just don't think Auburn's going to score. Until I see
Georgia's
Jackson.
defense is not that good, though.
No, but until Jackson shows me that he can just like sit in the pocket and deliver some big throws down the field.
Completely fair.
Like, I just am not buying it.
I think that the other games too, and I have more interest in them because we'll be wrapping up and doing the podcast, all that kind of stuff. Very intrigued to see what South Carolina can do in Baton Rouge this weekend.
Yeah, that's a good game.
That's 6:45 kickoff, and then from like the Big 12 standpoint, BYU, Arizona, and Arizona State, Utah, both really good games that kick off late.
Yeah, Utah, Arizona State should be good.
It just feels like Texas Tech is going to go undefeated in the Big 12.
They might. I mean, they're.
Well, they got Kansas this week.
Yeah.
That's a challenge at least for them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think
Kansas. I
Kansas
don't
is
know
very
how
good.
good Kansas is, and it's in Lubbock, right?
Yes, it is.
Well, guys, do you like George said it a little while ago? Like, we don't know how good some of these teams are, and I think that's right. But look around. How many teams are you convinced you know what they are? Like,
True.
I feel
Absolutely.
like Missouri. Everybody's jacked up about Missouri because their offense is number 4 in the country. Cool. The total defenses they played are 124, 109, 79, and 44. The best defense they played is middle of the pack. And you're like, well, I don't know what that means. Like, again, I kind of think Missouri's good, but I get the argument that they're not. And that you look at Tennessee, it's even worse. Tennessee's faced probably the most potentially fraudulent is Ole Miss. Like, everybody's jacked about them. Guys, they played 4 defenses ranked in the hundreds.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's
the two teams
okay.
that I think I know are Ohio State and Miami. And even Miami, I feel like I know the most. Ohio State, I still have some questions because their best win is against the Texas team that I have no idea if they might be bad. But I think that we all know they're very talented and they're going to win a lot of games. Miami, I think Miami is the best team in the country. Like they've been convincingly good.
I am close to including Texas A&M with your group. I think they're really good.
I think they still have some problems.
I
on
think
offense.
Marcel Reed is not a great quarterback, but he has his moments. They're too undisciplined on defense. They get too many stupid penalties. But man, they're talented.
Yeah,
And
they're good.
they're playing better than I've seen A&M play. Maybe ever.
Would you say that, and I'm literally just having this thought, I'm kind of workshopping it a little bit. Do you think Marcel Reed is like the best version of what Michael Hawkins could be. Like that sort of athlete, just can make plays with his feet, but at the same time can make some throws, can do some stuff with his arm, but he's gonna miss sometimes. Like it's not always gonna be beautiful, but he's just so gifted he can kind of do some things that maybe kind of wow you at times.
I look at him as a poor man's Jaden Daniels.
Who, Reed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just doesn't have the accuracy down the field that Daniels has. He overthrows a lot of people.
He does, which is hard to do with a guy like Craver because Craver.
But his arm is ridiculous. Craver's really good too. And I mean, what's his name that OU wanted?
Concepcion.
No.
Bussy or not Bussy? Who am I thinking?
Oh yeah,
Rico
Terry
Bussy?
Yeah.
Terry Bussy.
Terry Bussy.
Terry Bussy. Why did I
And
call him
Concepcion?
Rico?
Yeah,
Rico Bussy.
really good too. They've got some skill players. So I mean,
I
they're
really
scary
wish
to me.
that this was being recorded because you guys have some screens going on behind you that are alarming, Carrie and Eddie.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
That's like the Google pick your picture thing.
That doesn't make me feel comfortable at all.
They're picking up Eddie's thoughts, I think.
No, they're
Just
not.
what's deep in the recesses of his mind.
It's not whatever that is. I can tell you that.
All right, I think we're just looking forward to Texas. We're out of juice. John Mateer is on my screen in a Canes commercial right now. Unfortunately, that had to include an OSU player. Nobody's going to Canes to buy OSU football. Canes.
I will. I support everybody up in Payne County.
I'm just saying their own fans are not happy. It's not gonna. I don't think they're gonna win a game
All my friends are.
in the Big 12.
I think they're going to win out.
I think their best chance to win was last week, and they got murdered
I'm kidding. I don't think they're going
against
to win.
Arizona.
They might. This weekend might be the weekend if they have any prayer of
I don't think
winning
they can
again.
beat Houston.
I saw something with Connor Wegman. Did he get banged up last week?
Oh,
Yeah,
did
but
he?
he's been
Tech?
cleared. He's been cleared to play.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nako's tweeted that like an hour ago.
Okay.
That's
He had a
another guy.
concussion.
Wegman.
Tell Nakos to do the thing with the Mateer.
He called me. He's just out of the. He's just in the dark as we are. He was searching for some info from me, and I was like, brother,
I got nothing
I got
for
nothing
you.
for
Well,
you.
let's feed him something today and just start a little fire.
Let's start a he has regressed rumor.
No, let's not do that. Only positives.
I will say that athletic story that came out on Arch
That was
yesterday.
crazy.
Just an awful story.
That was a hit piece.
Yeah, and
I only saw the headline. I didn't read it.
The first college football flop? What the hell are they talking about?
if OU loses, just point to that article. Biggest jinx ever.
It definitely was one of those like, why'd they drop that this week?
Yeah.
Could they not have waited maybe a week?
All right, that's going to do it. We will be back again next week. Oh, you will either be 6-0
he was just cleared.
or 5-1. Wegman.
No, Mateer.
What?
I'm just kidding.
You mother.
All right, we better get out of here
George
before
have a heart attack.
Eddie kills us all. That's going to do it. We'll be back again next week for another edition of the Unofficial 40 podcast right here on Soonerscoop.com.